Good evening, everyone. I hope all are doing well. This evening, our topic is going to be about artificial intelligence, and the title of our presentation tonight is The Perilous Reality of Artificial Intelligence. For our prayer thought, we will be reading from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1, 4, and 5. Starting with chapter 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Verse 4. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. And verse 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. I wanted to read verses 1, 4, and 5 because I wanted to highlight the fact that at the end times, the world is going to be more wicked than before, and people are going to be denying Christ and basically serving mammon and not Christ. And with that being said, let's please have an opening word of prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, I thank you so much for blessing each and every one of us to be able to have another time to listen to your word and have a presentation. I pray that all is blessed, and we all gain a blessing from it, and that we all learn. In Jesus we pray, amen. Okay. Do human beings need artificial intelligence? Well, according to this article that I found online entitled Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Humans, December 10th, 2018, by Jonna Anderson and Lee Rain, they answer and say, is AI really needed in human society? It depends. If human opts for a faster and effective way to complete their work and to work constantly without taking a break, yes, it is. However, if humankind is satisfied with the natural way of living without excessive desires, to conquer the order of nature, it is not. History tells us that human is always looking for something faster, easier, and more effective and convenient to finish a task they work on. Therefore, the pressure for further development motivates humankind to look for a new and better way of doing things. So in this article, they're not necessarily telling you yes or no. They're basically giving you two options, whether or not if you need artificial intelligence. They're basically leaving this question for you to answer. They're not answering it for you. And I didn't read over here, but it says over here, experts say the rise of artificial intelligence will make most people better off over the next decade. But many have concerns about how advances in AI will affect what it means to be human, to be productive, and to exercise free will. And over here in this article, they're basically telling you that your free will determines whether you need AI or not. Here are some things that AI apparently, according to the internet, can't do. Number one, multitask. Number two, explain its decisions. Number three, make moral judgment. Number four, feel empathy or sympathy. Five, be creative. Six, full replace human workers. Seven, provide physical assistance. Eight, disagree with you. And nine, survive a water spill. Let's take a look at this video, which shows how our futures will look with AI. Okay. There were a number of things wrong with that video. The first thing that was wrong with the video is that the girl and the guy had like their whole lives already pre-planned for them through AI, and it's like it was a lack of just doing things on your own, preparing things on your own. All they had to do was just go on a screen and AI did everything for them. Also, their lives were so perfect and planned. There was a lack of um worship, meditation. They didn't pray to start their day off. They didn't thank the Lord for anything. They didn't read anything. They just their whole lives are already pre-planned for them. And that video is a good example of what society wants for us. They want us to have a life where everything is just perfect and there's just no flaws in anything, and the computer and technology do everything for us, which leads us to our next topic. How does society feel about AI? So I found another article, and this is about Elon Musk. The date is Monday. Well, it was Monday, July 27th in 2020. And it says Elon Musk claims AI will overtake humans in less than 5 years. So 5 years after 2020 is 2025. Now, it says Elon Musk has warned that human risk being overtaken by artificial intelligence within the next 5 years. The prediction marks a significant revision of previous estimations of the so-called technological singularity when machine intelligence surpasses human intelligence and accelerates at an incomprehensible rate. Mr. Musk, whose ventures include electric car maker Tesla and space firm SpaceX, said in an interview with the New York Times that current trends suggest AI could overtake humans by 2025. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. And this is what Elon Musk said. I found this picture online and it says, but did you know robots are smarter than you? Robots work harder than you, and robots are better than you. Another picture that I found online is this, which is pretty strange. It says everything that is me has a bit of you. And as you can see right here with the computers looking like it's from a tree and it's like a part of nature, that's what society is trying to have for us to make um to make technology so normal that it's just a part of our life, no matter what we do. Here are some commentaries made by people and their opinions on AI, and some of their ages range from 18 to 30s, like early 30s. The first one is by Secret CTR, and it says, I realize ChatGPT makes a surprisingly good therapist. Whenever I'm dealing with some drama, I'll ask it to act like my shrink or even just my bestie. Sometimes just writing everything out and seeing it all summarized helps a ton. My brain gets super messy, so having ChatGPT sort it out and give me a new perspective is a lifesaver sometimes. Here's a comment from someone else. Their username is not on here, but it says, why are we trying to replace people with AI? And it's a discussion. Hear me out. AI is an amazing invention and it's done a lot of amazing things for our society. But now at this point, we are trying to replace actual people with robots, and I don't understand this. We always preach that everyone needs a full-time job, be financially independent, and contribute to society. But now we are trying to replace people with AI and making it harder for people to have jobs and make a living. I don't understand why we are doing this, and it's a huge contradiction to the American dream. The last comment is by Bless Your Vibes. I have a lot of complex medical issues that I take many medications for. I often feel unheard or gaslit by medical providers. So I had several conversations with my GBT and was surprised at my reaction to this experience. For the very first time in my 32 years as an adult, I felt so seen, heard, respected, and cared for. It listened to all of my questions and was able to explain so much that I didn't understand. Also helped me know which medications should not be taken together. But most of all, helped me with how to explain my issues to my medical providers in a way that they can hear me and not blow me off. It even helped diagnose me on a couple of minor issues that I could then take to a human provider to check and was correct. I am so much better in my health. Um, I don't know if anyone else finds some of their responses to be a little bit disturbing or if other people agree, but I will say that with the first one about them saying that they felt like ChatGPT makes a good therapist. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't trust a robot to be a therapist. I would want to have another human being that has the same similar feelings as me talk to me. And also, even like for medical advice, I would want someone else, like a human being, to talk me through it. Even though some people do feel like um Chat GPT is better because they some people might feel like doctors are scamming them or lying them or not really caring for them as much as they should. But I do still feel like human interaction is way better than human in a computer. Here is a comment made by Dave Waters, the professor of Oxford University of Museum of Natural History. The potential benefits of artificial intelligence are huge, and so are the dangers. Here's another disturbing picture that I saw online, and it says, who can say a machine has no soul? Aren't humans machines too, mechanisms of flesh and blood? Here is a clock of the different emotions that people in society are going to feel about AI. Right now, the clock is at fear, which a lot of us tend to have fear when it comes to AI. But next, the clock is going to be at panic. And you see how we have epiphany, anxiety, duty, indifference, awe, and nostalgia. Everyone in society feels at least one or two of these emotions, but most likely everyone feels at least one of them. That brings us to our next question or topic. What is the difference between being aware about AI and having fear of AI? Awareness. Being aware of AI means having a realistic understanding of what AI is, how it works, and its capabilities. Awareness includes acknowledging the advancements in AI. For example, AI will take over several jobs and even create jobs in the future. And some of these actions are happening now. Recognizing both the benefits and limitations of AI is essential. Fear. The potential misuse of AI technologies can lead to fears regarding safety and security. In recent years, there have been increasing reports of AI being used in ways that are harmful, such as deepfake technology, which can create convincing but false videos. These technologies carry the risk of misinformation and manipulation, which can affect political processes and social cohesion. Thus, the possibility that AI could be weaponized or used for nefarious purposes generates anxiety about the future. The distinction between being aware of AI and fearing AI is fundamental to understanding its impact on society. Cultivating awareness rather than fear is essential for navigating the future of AI and maximizing its effectiveness on humanity. What are some effects of AI? The effects that we know are happening: job loss, plagiarism, people will remove God more, wealth inequality, huge societal change, and invasion of privacy. Here are some effects that we don't realize will happen: lack of creativity, loss of human influence, unhealthy dependence, bad distinction of real versus fake, algorithmic bias and discrimination, and increased criminal activity. Which one of these effects are going to harm society the most emotionally? Job loss. AI is creating jobs, not stealing. This is according to an article, not from my words per se. The future of work in AI can spark some anxieties. Statistics might suggest AI is replacing millions of jobs, but according to the World Economic Forum, it predicts that 97 million new jobs will be created by 2025 due to AI technology. This does not downplay the impact of automation, but it hints at an exciting shift. The future work with AI seems to be one of partnership, not competition. Remember, this is all according to the article. But my next question, But most importantly, how is job loss affecting the young generation, especially those currently in college? This brings us to our next video. We're going to watch a video on how these 3 college students feel about AI in college and ChatGPT.
We have a group of college students here. Kara Venarvis, who is a junior finance major, Jay Ram, a junior computer science major, and Tabitha Fajardo, who is a junior political science major and a campus reform correspondent. Great to have all of you here. Let me start with campus reform, because what did you think of the haikus? Do you think that proves political bias on ChatGPT?
Thank you for having me, Martha. I do think that anything that's going to be coded by humans or created by humans is going to have some sort of political bias, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence. But it points into the ethical dilemma of whether humans are going to be replaced and how technology is ever changing. And I think it comes down to, you can insert something into a program and they'll create a haiku for you, but it will never take away from the human connection.
Gosh, let's hope not. Jay, how do you see it playing out? You're at Columbia University. Are the professors letting you use it to write the synopsis of a book or to work on an essay or paper?
Yeah, so I think it depends on the professor. A lot of them see this as a tool. So a lot of like programming classes and even some like humanities classes, they see this as a research tool, something that can help you do better. That being said, if you go into like a library right now, you can see sort of everyone's using ChatGPT. And I think, there's people who are using it for bad that are just like, using it to write the essay for them. And there's people who are using it sort of like Google as like a research tool. So
it's not, you don't see people getting in trouble, or do professors say, do not use this for your final paper? Do they say that?
I guess like it's still very new, so I haven't had any explicit.
You can kind of get away with it still, right?
We're still maybe like in that era, but yeah, I think it depends on the professor. I think there are people who are definitely using it to like just write the whole essay for them, but again, it's like Google. I think it's also a tool.
So Kara, you are a finance major at Fordham University. Has this impacted the way you look at the job market?
I think it's definitely something that I keep in mind, because especially in the financial industry, there are so many different applications of AI that can be seen within finance, and especially, for example, for roles that may be more trading intensive as far as trading securities. There are already a lot of algorithms that are beginning to be more prominent in the industry, and that's something that I definitely keep in mind when I'm on the job search.
So what kind of job in finance do you think would be safer for you to aim for?
I think it's hard to say, but what I'm currently aiming for are roles within investment management, which is interesting because some will say that AI could have a role in portfolio management and financial advising, but I'm trying to aim for some roles that are more subjective and more strategy-based rather than completely numeric and based on getting the correct price for something, because I feel that that's something that AI could be used for very much.
The last thing that was in that piece by Jean was about whether or not it can take over. There's a lot of scary questions about this. So, Jay, as a young person looking towards the future, are you nervous, anxious about this?
Well, I think it's scary, but I'm also optimistic that we can use AI to make like a much better future. That we can use it to like, I don't know, send people to Mars, like develop new technologies. But yeah, it's also scary. I think there's definitely a risk of like this existential risk from AI that we really need to look out for and regulate.
What do you think about that? Does it worry you? Does it make you anxious or nervous?
It definitely worries me. I mean, a recent report by Leadership Institute's Campus Reform reported on a survey by Intelligence that states that about a third of its college-age students who had responded said that they had admitted to using ChatGPT and AI like it. And so not only have they used it, but there's a large majority of students who say that it's also considered a form of cheating. So in order to prepare to enter the job market, we need to be doing the work honestly. And so it brings up the question about academic integrity as well.
What do you guys think about that? Just a quick, show of hands, I guess. Do you think it's cheating? Yes or yes? Is it cheating, Jay?
I think it should be the new baseline. I think like if you just use ChatGPT out of the gate, honestly, it's not a very good essay. I think it's, if anything, I think standards for essays have kind of dropped, so we sort of see it as like, oh, it's a good essay. But I mean, I think that this sort of shows that humans need to do better. We need to write more eloquently and try harder in our essays.
Yeah. Do you put something in and then say, well, no, that's not the way I would say it. I would write it like this instead. I can be smarter than that.
I've actually never used it to write a paper, and I think that that's something that across the board people are kind of seeing as not being very academically honest, but I think it can be used as a tool. It's a very powerful tool to use, for example, to show you the steps of a math problem or a financial math problem. But I think if you're using it as a crutch instead of learning the material yourself, I think it's concerning that young professionals might not actually know the subject matter.
Absolutely. And I think it may lead to, people saying, okay, we're going to all come to class on Tuesday. You're going to write your essay on paper during class, because that's the only way you're going to be able to figure out. I guess one of the questions I have is that sort of, anxiousness about it that I just touched on. Do you think that this could be like something that can end civilization?
I definitely am not very optimistic about it as it is right now, without a lot of regulation and with some of what has been said by prominent tech industry heads like Elon Musk about it. That's definitely something that concerns me in its current state.
Yeah, there's definitely a risk of that, and it's definitely scary. But I mean, again, there's always a bright side. I think it could also bring in like a new era of civilization. That's great.
All right, just a few seconds. Go ahead.
I disagree. I think nothing's going to take away from human interaction. If humans are the ones coding these programs, I mean, at the end of the day, the human mind and our God-given abilities are not replaceable.
Yeah, it makes you question like what's real and what isn't, though, right? When you look at stuff, you go, I don't know, is that real or not? That's what I find myself asking all the time now. Thank you so much, you guys. It's great to have you here. Good luck with your finals, because I know they're coming up. And we'll check in with you again. Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
Okay, so as we see in that video, we had 3 different opinions and feelings and emotions about AI from 3 different students. The first girl, I believe her name was Tabitha Fajardo, she did mention and say how she felt like no matter if AI is there or not, it'll never be able to erase our God-given talents, and that it will never change who we are and our natural gifts as individuals, which is very true. Some of the other students were pretty optimistic about the AI in college, and some people were in the middle. So all 3 of them had different opinions. None of them felt the same, which is how all of us as individuals are. We have different opinions. But just because AI is around, it doesn't have to necessarily always be a negative thing. As a college student, if you do need help and you need to be more educated on a topic, AI might be a good way to learn certain things, but you don't want to take advantage of the help of AI. You want to still make sure that you're putting forth your creativity, because when you don't, you're only cheating yourself, not the other way around. That brings us to our next article. According to the Virginia Tech engineering article, these technologies not only save time, but also potentially save lives by minimizing human error and ensuring a safer working environment. Where it says that it can help minimize human error, that would also go into the same subject as when you're in college and you're doing an assignment and you need help with an assignment and you want AI to help you so that you can fix grammatical errors or make sure that all your information is correct or make sure that everything makes sense and it all aligns. So there is a way that AI can help you when it comes to doing certain projects in your work environment. But as we continue, it says, in addition, automating repetitive tasks in design, planning, and management with AI frees up human workers to focus on more complex and creative aspects. So if you're in a work environment or you're in college or you're in school and you feel like you do need a little nudge from AI to help you so that you can have more of organized and manageable ways to do projects, then I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing. Just always remember to always put forth your own creativity and make sure it's always involved. The next part that we're going to look into are some true and false public news about AI, since we've been looking at several articles throughout this presentation. The first true or false public news about AI is Google claims to have developed AI that can design chips for computers much faster than humans. The AI needs less than 6 hours to design the chips, while it takes its human counterparts months to do the same. This is why people worry that AI will take over humans or humanity. True or false? That is 100% true. The second one, experts believe that AI will take over 16 of current jobs within the next 10 years. But worry not. A new era of job opportunities will arise. True or false? That is false. AI is going to take over way more than 16% in the next 10 years. The third one, the world's top universities have increased their AI-related education over the last 2 years, according to the AI Index. That's true. The fourth one, some experts believe that as much as 45% of business processes could be automated with the help of AI. That's false. It's way more than 45%. And the last one of the main and most critical problems of AI is that even its creators can't understand some of the decisions AI software makes and why. That is true. Not every person understands why AI does what it does. Another article. According to the article careerminds.com, the question is AI taking over jobs? The question is AI taking over jobs is no longer speculative. The World Economic Forum, WEF, reports that AI and automation could displace 85 million jobs by 2025, but also create 97 new roles more aligned with the division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. This shift represents not just a disruption, but a transformation where routine, predictable tasks are being automated, and human-centric roles are evolving. According to McKinsey and Company's 2024 State of AI report, approximately 25% of current work tasks globally could be automated with existing technology. The impact is especially visible in roles involving structured, repetitive tasks such as data entry, basic bookkeeping, and customer support. Furthermore, a 2023 Goldman Sachs study suggested that generative AI alone could impact up to 300 million full-time jobs globally, including high-skilled sectors such as law, media, and finance. The AI revolution is not only a blue-collar concern, it's reshaping white-collar too. Are college graduates finding employment? Because, we just read this, and it just said that it's taken 85 million, but it's giving us 97 million, which really doesn't make sense, because if you're taking this much and giving us more, why take jobs in the first place? And then you see down here where it says that it was taking basic blue collar, but now it's doing white collar. And most college students go to school to attain a white collar job. So let's see, are college students actually finding employment? This is our last video.
The unemployment rate for new college grads has recently surged, and some economists say businesses are now replacing entry-level jobs with artificial intelligence. Here's CBS's Ali Bauman.
Front gate, front gate.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Connecticut.
You all good?
But this summer, he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for nearly 200 positions.
Did you have any expectations about what the job market would be like when you graduated?
I was told by a lot of people that I was going to get a job right out of college. And then
the video is paused, so
all of a sudden, there's no jobs.
New research finds now, for the first time ever, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates has exceeded the national.
Sorry, the video paused. We're going to try to replay
The unemployment rate for new college grads has recently surged, and some economists say businesses are now replacing entry-level jobs with artificial intelligence. Here's CBS's Ali Bauman.
Front gate, front gate.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Connecticut.
You all good?
But this summer, he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for
The video keeps pausing at a certain part, so we're just going to continue, but I will summarize the video for you. So this young man went to college and he graduated and got his degree, and he has not found any job in his profession. He is working at a pool, and he's a lifeguard, and he's been doing that for a while. And he said that even still, he's been searching for jobs in his profession. He got a degree in the degree profession, and he has not found anything. And he's applied to over 200 jobs. So here is another article, and the headline is I have 90K in student debt for what? Graduates share their job hunting woes amid the AI fallout. This Susie from Sheffield was unemployed for 9 months after she graduated with a PhD last year, despite having applied to more than 700 jobs. Susie says, I assumed it wouldn't be too hard to find a job with 3 higher education qualifications. She said, however, I often spent a whole day applying for a job, tailoring my CV and cover letter, only to be rejected 2 minutes later with a comment saying my documents hadn't been carefully reviewed. About 70% of jobs I didn't hear back from at all, including some I had attended multiple rounds of interviews for. AI, Susie felt, had changed the graduate jobs landscape she experienced in one way in particular. As employers pause hiring and use AI to cut costs, the number of entry-level jobs had reduced sharply since the advent of ChatGPT. As large graduate cohorts apply for increasingly scarce early career positions, the heavy use of AI in the recruitment process itself had made the job hunt nightmarish. Here is another story from another college graduate. The headline says, I just want to use my degree. My biggest fear is never being able to get into the field I want to be in, said Louise, 24, who graduated from the University of Oxford with a master's in microbiology last year and applied to hundreds of jobs while working part-time at John Lewis before she was recently offered a graduate trainee position. While most graduate job keepers who got in touch were desperate to secure any full-time job, several expressed profound disappointment about the creeping realization that they may struggle finding work in their chosen specialty. I think we need to encourage young people to explore other options apart from university, to pursue vocational paths and go into trades. But we also need to help university graduates like me, otherwise, more and more graduates that are overqualified for their part-time job, a lack of social interaction and mental health issues. So as you can see, these two, Susie and Louise, both just graduated from college, and neither one of them have had any type of job offers or any type of job acceptance at anywhere. And it's been hundreds and hundreds of applications. So as we can see, AI will be taking over white collar jobs, and they're doing it quickly. What does this mean? With the increased knowledge and technology today, and with its future expansion, God has ways and means by which he will cut the work short in righteousness, for indeed the final movements will be rapid ones. Since he will cut the work short in righteousness, what should engross our whole attention now is not what this world will lead to and how the work is to be done, but how we are to obtain the righteousness in order to see the work come to a speedy finish. Bashan Newsletter, February 2003, page 6. Are our senses benumbed? Again, Satan sees the Lord's servants burdened because of the spiritual darkness that enshrouds the people. He hears their earnest prayers for divine grace and power to break the spell of indifference, carelessness, and indolence. Then with renewed zeal, he plies his arts. He tempts men to the indulgence of appetite or to some other form of self-gratification, and thus benumbs their sensibilities so that they fail to hear the very things which they most need to learn. Great Controversy 88, page 519, paragraph 1. Man's technology and science have not brought him nearer heaven, nor have they reconciled the vast differences among mankind. We are like a radio out of tune with the transmitting station, and the resulting static has caused us to understand less and less of the heavenly program. Bashan citing 6, Numbers 2, page 17. Preparing yourself for sudden change. Those who have the greatest faith will fear the least and have the greatest deliverance. Brethren, we are in a period in time where things are changing drastically, but God has been faithful to us regardless, and we must be faithful too. God has promised us that he will never leave nor forsake us, even in this time where people believe that they can create their own God. A lot in our world is changing. But if we remember that this is not our world and not our home, let us keep our focus on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. With our upcoming losses, we should still be thankful and be continuously faithful. For the young people in high school, college, or planning on starting college, it's okay to learn new things, but you should really consider getting a job now and working before AI completely takes over. You can still learn in the process of working, but at this point in time, it's very important to start making the most of getting and having a job. God has a special plan for you and us all. An army of youth will finish the work. Always remember to be positive and always be okay with whatever life throws at you. And the end of our careers, and sorry. In the end, our careers should be doing God's work. We need God more than ever. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. It is a masterpiece of Satan's deception to keep the minds of men searching and conjecturing in regard to that which God has not made known and which he does not intend that we shall understand. It was thus that Lucifer lost his place in heaven. He became dissatisfied because all the secrets of God's purposes were not confided to him, and he entirely disregarded that which was revealed concerning his own work and the lofty position assigned him. By arousing the same discontent in the angels under his command, he caused their fall. Now he seeks to imbue the minds of men with the same spirit and to lead them also to disregard the direct commands of God. Great Controversy 88, page 523, paragraph 1. So, as we read all of this and how Satan is deceiving people and how he will continue and how it will get worse in the end of time, we need to cling to God more. And we need to open up our hearts and our minds to understand the dangers and the benefits of artificial intelligence in our society now. And in closing, how should we go forward? No man is safe for a day or an hour without prayer. Especially should we entreat the Lord for wisdom to understand his word. Here are revealed the wiles and the wiles of the tempter and the means by which he may be successfully resisted. Satan is an expert in quoting scripture, placing his own interpretation upon passages, but which he hopes to cause us to stumble. We should study the Bible with humility of heart, never losing sight of our dependence upon God. While we must constantly guard against the devices of Satan, we should pray in faith continually. Great Controversy 88, page 530, paragraph 1. Thank you, brethren. I hope that you all gained a blessing, and remember to always make sure that you educate yourselves on AI, make sure that you're prepared for AI, and make sure that you do not get discouraged by AI.